Folks, it's Danny at Bradley James Classics, and I'm bringing you one of our trade-ins today. And actually this is a very nice colour for a Rover 620. I'm not entirely sure of what it's called, but I do have it on good authority that the customer in his lifetime with this car did have it painted, and I must say, with the sort of contrasting black wheel trims, it does set this car off rather nicely. And actually all round, despite one or two minor just minor imperfections with the paintwork, nothing serious. The only thing to really write home about is the fact that we've got a little scuff here, which ideally would get painted in. However, we are letting this car go as a trade-in, so I think this represents really nice value for money for someone who's just looking for a good, reliable car to use as an everyday driver. Doesn't really want to spend a fortune. Now, the Rover 620, for really want of a better term, it's more like a reskinned Honda Accord. So a lot of Japanese engineering, and albeit a percentage of these cars can look quite similar when you see the Honda Accord version over here in the UK. This one is actually the Rover. There's a brilliant engine in these cars. This one's a 2-litre petrol with a 5-speed gearbox. They're quick and economical for what they are, which is a 2-litre family-sized saloon. I still believe they're still a handsome car, and they were quite well regarded when they were sold new back in the 1990s. In fact, they were replaced by the Rover 75 as a size car, and these fitted in the range back in the days when you had a Rover 200, 400, 600 and 800, and it was more of a sort of an executive saloon car, with probably German rivals like the BMW, for example, which was notably more expensive. So in regards to the good things on the car, it has clearly been very well maintained, and the previous owner of the car was actually retired engineer for the armed forces, and he looked after his own car very well. Sadly, he's passed on, and the car moved through the family, and that's where it's coming from us as a part exchange. The car's recently had 2 new tyres fitted to the front. A previous MOT had mentioned an advisory of some perishing, so 2 new tyres were fitted to the front, and the tyres actually all round are pretty good. We've had the car in the workshop, we've looked underneath, and it's all rock solid. We did look at any previous advisories, and we can see that work has been carried out. For example, there's new brake pipes and fittings. The car has had a new radiator fitted to it, and there is a receipt for that. And it does have its handbook, and it comes with 2 keys. Now, the Rover model is actually called the 620S, and then there's an I. Now, the I is a fuel injection, and the S is the model number. Let's have a little look inside. I think from my little walk around you get the gist of the colour and the condition of the bodywork. I'll look around it closely with you, but it's quite nice in here. You've got a nice grey velour cloth. 1999 was the last year for these cars, so you generally find the specification of cars on the way out are usually pretty good. For example, we have central locking, we've got electric windows, it's original factory fit radio cassette, they have power steering, the mirror adjustment is via the little knobs on the mirrors there, and a nice velour interior, like a centre armrest, and being a Rover, of course you always get a bit of wood, and a very nice trim, nice and practical, very clean, and the car clearly has been looked after. Let's have a look in the back. Yeah, we've got some nice comfy grey velour seats, a nice headlining. You've got manual windows in the rear, and very clean and tidy, very presentable. I'm going to sit down behind the steering wheel and we'll have a little look at the dashboard together a bit closer. Yeah, so a very pleasant environment, and the car smells fresh, and clearly it has been looked after. I did tell you that there was a manual here, and what have we got? We've got something that tells us about the stereo. I haven't actually seen a copy of the service book, but the car does have some invoices that come with it, which show some maintenance on the car. Oops, unless that's in there. Let's have a look. We'll have a good look while we're here. Nope, sorry, that one's not the service book. That's just a small guide, but that's in the glove box. The car's covered just 81,000 miles, which is pretty respectable from a car from the 1999. It shows 3 former keepers, but certainly 2 of those keepers were in the same family, and one of those 2 keepers was a very long-term owner of the car, who's had the car for the majority of its life. Now, while we're here, I can just pull the bonnet up and have a little look at that engine together, and then we can have a slow walk around the bodywork, and I can give you a feel for the overall condition. Now, the MOT is going to be up soon, so we will MOT it, and it will come with a fresh 12 months ticket. Now, I'm looking through the engine bay here. That all looks honest and proper. I can see ABS pumps and fuel injection plenums, and that's that 2-litre engine. A few fuse boxes at the top, and you'll see it's had a new radiator. So that's underneath the bonnet. Let's push that down. And now, if I give this a pull here, this either opens the petrol flap or the boot. Let's have a look in the boot. And the first thing you notice is that it's actually a very good size. There's a couple of extra rubber carpet mats here, and there's the spare with its jack, and there's a brace, and there's a couple of wheel centres. But I suspect what's happened is the owner, when he's had his car painted, I think he decided to go with a new set of wheel trims, and black wheel trims do look quite nice on the car. I should have mentioned we've got a tow bar at the back here, which is quite useful if you've got something to tow. And being a 2-litre, it should tow rather well, and we've just miles on it. I think it's got a fair bit of life left in it. Now, I'm going to go around the car. We'll start with this front wing. This all looks to be in good order, as does the passenger side door, as does, we've got a little bit of grot right down there, nothing serious. The rear wing's in good order, as is the back bumper, as is the boot lid and the rear wing. We've got a very minor mark here, nothing too drastic. This rear arch looks pretty reasonable. A little bit of discoloration down there, which is common for, and a small bubble here, but by no means in bad shape. This passenger door looks good, as does the driver's door. Nice on the front wing. I started off by showing the scuff because that's quite recognisable, and as you would expect, we've got a couple of stone chips across the front. But yeah, a very striking colour for a Rover. And I do personally think the black wheel trim set it off quite nicely. And I think at the price point, you're getting quite a good car for the money. It certainly drives very well. I've driven it myself. We've had it on the ramp today. It's gone through the workshop. And I think with the 12 months MOT it will come with, I think that's quite a nice modern classic, which hopefully, if you keep it in this sort of condition, it should maintain its value and even potentially go up a little as these Rovers become older and more desirable. But anyway, I'm glad that you've had a chance to have a look at this lovely old Rover with me today. If you require any more information, please don't hesitate to get in touch. We do offer a full UK delivery service at a competitive price. We also can take in your existing classic, modern, or even a light commercial if you fancy a change. But I can assure you this car will leave us in good fettle, a fresh MOT, fully checked over, cleaned, ready for you to hop in and enjoy. And if there are any observations from a car that's over 20 years old, we will certainly let you know about them. But we do specialise in providing everyday working classics that we expect people to jump in and drive and not just put in their garage and look at. So that's what we specialise in, and I think this would be a good example. So folks, 81,000 miles on a Rover 620 SI from 1999. I've highlighted the recent spend. The car does drive very nicely, and she is in stock now. Well, thank you very much for watching my video, folks. This is Danny at Bradley James Classics, signing out.